Would you pay the bills for someone else's vehicle? Well, we're talking about everything from repairs to gas to tires.
And you may not realize, but you're already doing that for some of our elected officials. In tonight's New York State Exposed report, Brett Davidson takes a look at who receives these vehicles and just how much you're paying for them. Brett, what'd you find out?
Well, they get a company car, and the company they work for is you, the taxpayer. The state spent almost $300,000 of your tax money on cars issued to members of the state assembly. 5 days a week, Chris Wagner takes the bus from the city to her job at the Wendy's restaurant in Pittsford. She says she simply can't afford a car.
It's kind of expensive to own a car because you got to pay for the gas and you got to pay for insurance and, you know, all that.
But it's not expensive if you're an elite member of the New York State Assembly. According to data from the Empire Center, a conservative-leaning think tank based in Albany, 13 state-owned vehicles were assigned to the Assembly, and you're paying for it.
As a taxpayer, and my money every week goes to pay for the car, and it makes me kind of mad.
11 of the cars are driven by legislators. 8 are Republicans, 3 are Democrats. The other 2 cars are driven by Assembly staff members. According to the Empire Center, the car costs you, the taxpayer, $284,000, with an additional $21,000 for maintenance and repair and $19,000 for gasoline.
We should have a transparent process that explains why the taxpayers are footing the bill.
Ken Girardin of the Empire Center says there doesn't seem to be any strict criteria to determine who gets a car. Is this a proper use of their tax dollars?
It really invites the question as to why certain assembly members get cars and others don't. Taxpayers would be right to ask the question why they're getting cars at all for a part-time job.
According to the data, 4 local members of the Assembly have state-issued cars. Majority Leader Joe Morelli and Minority Leader Brian Kolb are driving the 2015 Chevy Traverse. Bob Oakes and Steve Hawley have 2011 Chevy Impalas. Only Kolb would agree to answer our questions about the cars. On the phone, Kolb defended the practice, saying the cars are assigned to those in specific leadership roles that require extraordinary travel.
Leadership positions tend to do more of that work on behalf of the conference in terms of dealing with issues across the state. So, and again, it's really a nature of their jobs and functions.
Could you say, no thanks, we don't want the cars?
Oh, sure.
But Kolb points out that Assembly members who don't have cars instead receive reimbursement at 57 cents per mile for their official travel.
There is a cost, whether you have a state vehicle or whether you're using your personal vehicle. It's no different than any business expense.
Would I want a government car? No, I wouldn't.
Assemblyman Peter Lawrence doesn't get a car. He says he doesn't want one, and he believes it's worth looking into whether the current policy is in the taxpayer's interest.
What are we getting for the money we're spending? And if it makes sense from a financial standpoint, then I'm all for it. If it doesn't, then let's take a look at it and do something that that would make it better.
All right, now if you have feelings about the state issuing cars to lawmakers, you can make your feelings known because the cars are assigned to members of both parties. We have phone numbers for the majority and minority leaders' offices. Joe Morelli's office number is 585-467-0410. And the number for Brian Kolb's office is 315-781-2030. Coming up at 6, we'll look at how some lawmakers are instead turning to their campaign donors to cover the cost of their rides. Janet?
Brett, you mentioned the Assembly. Of course, people will want to know, what about the state Senate? Does it provide cars to its members?
It does. Republican, Democratic, and independent Democratic leaders have vehicles assigned to them. However, the Senate has not yet released the data regarding the cost.
All right, Brett Davidson with our report tonight. Thank you.